Hey folks, Carmen here from Urban Farm School. We're in my shady woodland garden where I've taken actually two of my mature apple trees and created different guilds around those apple trees. I'm going to get into those in a future video, but right now I wanted to continue in my series of showcasing some awesome plants that can be used in a food forest or forest garden design. Particularly with this small series, it's really about those that will thrive in shade. So no matter what kind of guilds you're building, if you've got one or more main tree species, you're going to have some areas that are in shade for most of the day. Now this area behind me is one such space. It's in shade for most of the day. And so, choosing plants that can perform those gilding functions within an almost completely shady environment has been key to success for this area. So I'm going to show you another plant that I really love that does really, really well for us. Just let me walk through here. So I'm talking about the humble little hosta. So hosta's a really, really fantastic plant in a shady woodland garden. They thrive in anywhere from full shade to partial sun. They don't really tolerate full sun that well, although some of the species, some of the varieties handle full sun quite a bit better than others. But in this case, these guys really prefer the shady location. What makes hosta is so great is that in addition, if they're planted in groupings, they can act as a really great ground cover. I'm just going to turn my camera here. You'll see that there's a few different varieties that we've got in here that are thriving. So you can have a lot of fun with shape and texture. Put some, like these have a lovely light edge. So for most of the day, this is in a very dark part of the garden. So it's nice to see those little glimmers of light when the sun is shining on them. But when these plants are immature in the early spring, when they're first corkscrewing, their leaves are corkscrewing out of the ground, that's when these plants are edible. So the beautiful thing about these is that they're really, really delicious leaves. I really love them stir-fried, and they're just fantastic for that. You do have to be mindful that the more of the little corkscrewed leaves you take off of one plant, you're going to set that plant back a little bit because these are their solar panels. So if you're interested in eating a lot of hostas, it's best just to take one or two leaves from each plant and grow enough of them so that it makes sense to do that. So that's a really, really fantastic plant. I really like hostas. They're fairly disease resistant. I've never had any issues with disease organisms, pests, or anything on these hostas. They provide beautiful ground cover, shading the soil, cooling the soil, keeping our soil microbes happy. They produce a decent amount of biomass, and there are some much larger species like Hosta seboldiana, which have monstrously big leaves, which produce quite a bit of mulch in the fall when the leaves die back, and really do a great job of shading the soil. So that's really fantastic. So that's one plant that I think really belongs in a shady forest garden area like this one, and are able to perform multiple functions. The other thing I didn't mention was that they also have beautiful fragrant flowers, so they are a great pollinator magnet as well. So of course we're always looking for plants with multiple functions. That's what we're all about: stacking functions, creating relationship matrices in our food forest designs and in our plant guilds. So guys, if you've enjoyed this video, do feel free to leave comments below. Check us out online at urbanfarmschool.ca and at urbanfarmyyc if you're into Instagram. So we'll see you in the next video, folks. Bye.